what is the main childhood experience that you remember that molded you into the person you are today?
Um,
It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a good thing. It can
no,
be
of
something
course.
clicked into you.
I don't know. It's like there's no one thing that molds you, man. There's just a multi. There's a multiple things that come into to play to create whatever one journey you want to create. It might be like you see, like being poverty. Poverty might be you make you driven to make money, and in the direction you making money might be due to an interest. Your cousin might be interested in football, so now poverty says, "Oh, I need to get myself out of the hood." Your cousin's good at football now. You might want to be a footballer. You might then watch football on television and see Ian Wright and go, "Hey, I want to be a striker." So there's multiple different things which are introduced to you to make you believe any one thing, especially about what you want to do in your life. I would just say my driving force amongst everything which is unique is just my mum. When I see the sacrifices my mum made in order for her to be the person she is today, it made me realize how important sacrifice is. So, especially for people that you love and for family. So the things that my mum sacrificed that I'm imagining any one human being would love to want to do. My mum, at the age of 24, 25, is sacrificing her social life. And that's most, if you take a look at social media, now who the hell would sacrifice their social life to raise their child? So if my mum is able to do that for me, and even to the point where she's splitting my dad, I ain't see another guy for time. Like my mum's just like solid, you know where I'm coming from. She just cares about her children. If my mum can do that, I must be able to make sacrifice in life in order for me to prosper. Especially at a time where I said we got social media. My mum cut her social life. I don't know. I don't even like as much as people claim that they love their children and so on and so forth. I'd love to see someone today, even myself. I test myself, cut my social life to raise my children. It's not something I see that much, but maybe because I don't see it because I'm on social media. And if I came off social media and stayed in life a little bit more, I'd see more examples of it. But irrespective of when it's done and how it's done, it's still an incredible thing. And I just think, yeah, I rate my mum.
How is it? How's that experience and relationship with your mother? How's that translated to your little ones as well, bro?
The fact that there's no excuses. Like I think as people we find excuses for ourselves, but when that excuse you have for yourself trickles onto somebody else, I'd rather it just be me. I don't want it to be somebody else. The fact that there's a reason why somebody's not prospering or not doing something in life, and I happen to be part of that reason, unless it's for clear justification, I'm not happy, man. So long story short, my guy, like all that showed me is no matter what comes in the way of my children, no matter what anybody thinks, no matter what anybody has to say, the most important thing is that Zion and Khalifa are aware they have a father that will do anything for them. Because once they even know that, they won't live with me. Once they know that, that's enough for me. Because I knew my mum would do anything for me, even when I don't speak to mum, not around her. Just knowing that there's someone on planet Earth that will go the extra mile for me gives me the motivation to keep going. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I speak to a lot of people that are depressed, they talk about this sense of being alone and not knowing if they got people have got their back. Zion and Cleveland know I've got their back, no matter what. So that was an important thing.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. What you were saying earlier about social media and disconnecting. How do you, especially because you're so prominent and it's a big part of your career,
Hmm.
how do you step back from it and disconnect and unwind and stuff like that, or like how do you like detune from that?
I find, as of recent, I find a lot more balance. So I'm around my mum and my sister a lot more, and I try to socialize with my genuine friends a lot. Not friends that I've met on social media, my friends. And if I've met you on social media, we just need to have enough aspects today of true friendship today, just so we're just not talking about things that are happening online all the time. And if we are, we're speaking about it on the perspective of how it relates to real life. So, and most of my friends I've got around me, like, I'm with my boy right now. Like, it's a decade plus minimum. I've been around these people. And some people might go, "Oh, that's because you're a bit older." Nah, my G, it's not because I'm a bit older. I've always been around people that just. I'm from an estate, so like Smiler. I've known Smiler since I was like 14 years old. Still know Smiler to this day. Like the same could be said about my boy Tyson, Chris Bell. Like I'm just around people. I'm a hoarder. I keep things in my house for a long time, and I keep people in my life for a long time. I'll just disappear. We're here for a reason, man. So let's try and find out that reason. And some people, I've only found out the reason and they're in my life like 10 years after I've met them. Some people I find out straight away, but the most important thing is they're good people. So the way I can find balance, with all of the social media nonsense and so on and so forth is to have good people in my life because they consistently remind me that today is dope and tomorrow can be better. If you focus purely on social media, Jesus Christ, man, you might think the world's ending in about an hour. You know what I mean? So yeah, keep good people in your life, man.
Mm. What's You see how you've been in how long do you feel like you've been in the industry now? Like more like about 10 years, bit more, bit less.
Well, the industry, no disrespect, was built around me. So the industry would have to tell you how long they've been built around me, and people like myself, not just me. But I've been doing this since 2005. It's 2024. I've been doing this since 2005. So before there was an infrastructure and a way to make money and a way for people to monopolize and to build industry, I've been here. And that's the same to be said about likes of Wiley, the J2Ks, all of the people from the grime era, the Mangas, all of these guys, a lot of rappers as well. They were before the grime dailies and the link ups and all of this. We were here, bro. I was here before Channel U. So before there's an industry around me, I'm here. So it's not really how long have I been in the industry. It's how long has the industry been in and around me.
But when did you find that time that like you had everything on lock? Like you, even though the industry was built around you, as you were saying, when did you feel like okay, cool, like this, I can move in this space proper now, even though it was built around you?
I've always believed I can do this. There's not that it's built around me. It's built around what I'm doing. It's not the other way around. I've not seen something and said I want to be a part of this. I'm just involved in it by default. I'm in the hood. Grime is happening. I'm here. That's the industry. So I always believed I could do it because we were just around a bag of people that also believed that we could do it. And every time you went to a new estate, there was new people spitting, there was new personalities. It was just a niche that was happening, and you either knew about it or you didn't. And if you didn't, it don't matter, man. And if you did, you ended up connecting with other people that were a part of this massive, niche, like Quazon Matthews. I owe him so much. What an amazing human being. We came together and we made a show called That's a Rap. And with That's a Rap, I was able to connect with more people a part of this niche. And when I say this industry is built around people like me, it's people like me. It's not just me. There are so much people that were here picking up a little £300, £400 here for this and that before there was any real industry. There's so much people. Fraser Matthews is one of them. Mitch and Suave, two other individuals. Like I linked up with Mitch and Critical as well. Oh my God. You know the stories of us walking from one place to shoot something, all the like walking way before Ubers are here to get cabs and things just to support whatever the hell we were doing at the time. Like this is way before there's an industry. We don't know what's going on, so we couldn't have thought at any one point maybe this is it. It's time to go. Like I'm telling you, we must have been insane. There's nothing to there's nothing to reassure us that tomorrow everything's going to be okay. All we have is each other. In the industry, you have a place to go to if things are going bad to go and collect money or to get advice from someone or to, because not at the time that we're talking, bro. It's either you got a team of people together and you're fighting, or you're by yourself and you're fighting. Ain't no industry.
See, and the audience will never see that. That's one thing I've always kind of spoken about is how the audience always see an end product and they'll never see those cab journeys, those late nights, the stress of trying to put this production together and all that. They're always seeing that the polished product. Um,
But they should see that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they should see. And I think everybody that's working this job has a responsibility to educate people on the story of what's happened. Some people are checking in as a form of escapism. That's the reason why we do this. We do this so we can help people escape the everyday stresses of their lives. We're not now going to ask them to know who was happening at what point. It's nothing to do with you. You come in and you check in for what you need to check in for, and you disappear what you need to disappear for. Now, the industry, quote unquote, should be letting individuals from an ignorant standpoint, they should be letting them know what the history of this any one genre is about. But it doesn't happen for whatever reason. So no, it's not up to the individual that's a consumer. You go have some fun, consumer. We should educate you.
Trust, bro. And that's my thing, man. That's one of my battles, bro. Because like even when I was in school, and the way the curriculum was and all of these things, bro, it felt like when I left school, I couldn't maneuver in the world because of like, I failed my GCSEs. I only left with like drama and music.
My guy.
You get me? So like, it's bro. I'm Somali, so like, I'm already instantly thought of to be like, yo, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be this, that, the other, and then coming out of school and not knowing how to move, it was weird. So if we have a chance to change a curriculum or add a curriculum, what would it, from your perspective, what curriculum would you incorporate into schools today?
Um, I just think there should be so like H&M do this really cool thing, right? Where depending on the H&M you go to, it depends on what it's able to sell. So like the H&M in my area of Wood Green is catering to the demographic of people that are around here. But if you go to the H&M in Camden, it's got a little bit more edgy stuff. Now, what I think the curriculum should definitely adopt is it should actually understand that it's 2024, and the curriculum should actually understand, dependent on where you are, depends on the information you might actually need. That needs to be something that needs to be apparent now. So what they should have is almost some type of social awareness where it educates you about money management, it educates you about foods that you should be eating and so on and so forth, and it educates you about your environment. Like a lot of things stem from ignorance. So if there is a large Somalian community in a particular part of London, I think the schools in and around that area should be definitely learning about some Somali history. So we're not ignorantly speaking about Somalians coming to this country. We should understand why they're here. We should understand what's been happening back home in Somalia. We should understand the discrepancies that the Somalian community have gone through. We should understand that. If not saying asking for the whole of England to understand that, but I know in Tottenham we have a large Somalian community. So why is it not the schools in Tottenham that are being educated about the discrepancies that Somalians have gone through? I'm not asking for huge amounts of information. I'm just asking for a space where we might get 15 to 20 minutes. And 15 to 20 minutes every week at the end of the year is a hell of a lot more information than not giving. And it gives more understanding to you in your environment. I think that's very important. The same way H&M will have certain belts that are only available for that H&M, so people around that area kind of just a bit more edgy, so it makes sense. Like, I don't understand why schools are not doing that. I don't understand why schools are not doing it. It's just birthing. Well, I do understand. Sorry, it's birthing a whole new breed of ignorance every single time. So
Yeah, trust, man. How do you when how do you deal with anything with self doubt or things that might be projected towards you? Like how does your energy dispel that stuff?
you have to ask yourself about the environment you're in. I feel very powerful at all times. Whenever I don't feel powerful, I'm thinking to myself, so where am I? Where am I? I don't understand. You know, I spend a lot of time by myself. I'm not lonely, I'm alone. The big difference. If you're lonely, you're weak. If you're alone, you're strong. You just recognize you're by yourself. And that's just in a physical parameter. Like, if you're lonely, not only are you by yourself physically, you're by yourself mentally. And that's an issue. So I always make sure by myself, I'm strong. And then every environment I put myself in, I want to be around winners, bro. I want to be around people that want to win. Even if you're in a bad space in your life, I want to know that you want to win. The moment I think you are in places of self doubt too frequently is when you put yourself in environments that are not for you, my guy. Any environment which involves a lot of ego, any environment which doesn't allow you to implement your own pride, any environment which means that afterwards you don't even recognize yourself, what are you there for? Those are the environments where people usually get in to impress someone. I don't need to impress nobody, my guy. I am who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. If you don't like me, that's actually comfortable. I would never put the pressure of, I would never make you feel like you have to like me or accept me. For what? There's like 6 billion people on this planet. I'm sure you'll find someone, or maybe more. Like, I'm sure you'll be fine. Like, I'm not overly concerned with who doesn't like me. I'm overly concerned who does like me, because that's an audience of people that I can cater to, I can show my appreciation to, and we can build and grow, and we can go wherever we want. So when self doubt does happen, the first thing I ask myself is, where am I? And if I haven't been consistently in an environment which I know is going to serve me correctly, then I know these thoughts are being placed in my mind because I've placed myself in the wrong environment. And sometimes the wrong environment is around the wrong people. I know certain man that they get with a gal, And half a year later, I don't even recognize this nigga no more. I'm like, you're in the wrong environment, my guy. Your girl's meant to uplift you. She's meant to make you stronger. If this girl's not doing that, girls are not the problem. This girl's the problem. Take yourself out of that environment. And it happens across the board. I know people that work certain jobs in this industry, and I talk to them, and then from the outside, I'm like, oh my God, you must feel so proud and so happy with everything you're achieving. And when I talk to them, they just sound so bitter and upset. And I'm like, Ross, like you're under pressure, my guy. Like you shouldn't be putting yourself through this. For what? Couple of grand, not worth it.
Mm, that's so true. Do you think certain people need to experience the wrong environments to know what's right for them?
100%. Most people are self-taught. Most things are self-taught. At least you can rely if you're by yourself and you have no one around you. What else are you going to be more time? You're going to have to gain information from making a mistake. I'm not against that, but at least understand you're gaining information. Don't gain information and try and neglect it, like I used to do. Get a girl, she cheats on you. You gained information, you neglect it, she cheats on you again. What are you going to do now? You neglect it again? Like, when something happens, understand it's happened. Ask yourself, can you deal with it? And ask yourself, how do you move forward? Because it's new information. You can't pretend it didn't happen. This is brand new information. Let's ask ourselves with this information, how do we move forward? And be honest with yourself. If you can't move forward with it, drop it out, man. Life is easy as the instructions you're given in nursery, only made complicated by the lies people tell you as you get older. When I was a kid to do something bad in school, all the teachers told them to apologize and say whatever to the other person. As you get older, I need an hour discussion to say I'm wrong. But when I was 6 years old, it was you was wrong. We can explain why you were wrong, and then you're going to explain why you did it to the person. Then we're going to move forward. And that explanation never lasts any longer than 15, 20 minutes for multiple reasons. But as you get older, all of a sudden we're doing counseling sessions and all these bollocks about you making a damn mistake. I ain't listen. You're talking to a bitter Jamaican man with no sympathy. Let's move forward. Let's win.
But that's what I want, bro. Like I feel like a lot of the scenes we're a part of, it feels like that characteristic is limited, and that's where the growth is, bro.
Bro, you just need to tell the truth, understand the truth, and move forward. Like nothing is easy. Not one thing in life is easy. And it's like half the things that I hear is like, how do we make it easier? No, imagine it's not going to get easier. Imagine it gets harder. And that's what people are afraid of. Hard work. They always want the easy or shortcut. There's no shortcuts to success. The moment you think there is, you're Jeffrey Epstein in a jail cell, apparently killing yourself. It's not how it goes, man. Let's just tell the truth.
Do you think social media has turned society into what you were just saying about everything? Everything is hard, but people just want the easy things. But character is growth, and character comes from the growth from hard things and being exposed to that.
No, I think back in the day, there was definitely individuals that used to go to other countries, say that they discovered it, kill everyone there, and just take over. Because the harder thing would have been to create an alliance and an understanding with that group of individuals and ask how they can work together. That's the hard thing, because that's going to take loads and loads of time to understand people. The easy thing is just to bring a bag of people, loads of knives, kill them all, and say, this is our place now. And when I go to Jamaica, there's a place called Spanish Town with no Spanish people. So no, I don't think social media is responsible for people's incompetence. I think people will always find a way to be incompetent purely that's the nature of some people. And I don't want to blame a mechanical device which is actually controlled by the human as a way, as the reason, sorry, for people to be bad. Like, I'm not bad on social media. I'm cheeky. I'm not bad. I've got loads of friends that are not bad. So it's down to the any one individual. And history suggests that there's always been pricks. And there will always be pricks. And we just need to accept that.
That's so true, you know. Well, that's mad. That's actually mad. Because I've always clocked that. I wouldn't say social media is a main drive. It's definitely an instrument to what is going on now. But I'm trying to discover what the underlying, like, what are the things that happened 50 years ago, 100 years ago for it to embed now? Because it's all of those type of things that have embedded into society now. Because it's not those instant changes. It's not those instant things. Like instant gratification comes from something that is long lasting, whether it's through heritage, whether it's through society, whether it's through education, whether it's the products we're consuming, the music we're listening to. So there's so many different factors. How was you as you were growing up? Like, was your energy always changing, and especially with so many different things coming in and being exposed to it?
Mm.
You how was you filtering these things as you were growing up?
What do you mean?
Like with like your friend circles, whether it's energy, whether it's society, anything. Like how was you maneuvering as you were growing up through society?
Like the same way now. Like I don't really like. I understand and I respect there is so much happening on planet Earth, and I also understand and respect that so much of it has nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. So the way I operate and the way I'll give you an example today. Um, I said I referred to two things as the same thing, but that's what you do in slang. Like, this is dead. I can go to two raves. What do you reckon? It's dead, fam. This is dead. I've gone to 7 raves tonight. Tonight's dead, fam. This is dead, bro. So I must have said today on Instagram. So on Instagram, I must have said this is dead, fam. I put two pictures of two different trainers up and said this is dead. I say that to say this. When I say that, I'm fully aware in terms of articulating yourself as a human being. The English there is a mess. But if you have that perspective when you look at it, why do you not accept that I'm not talking to you? Why is that fact that I'm not talking to you? Why is that a problem? If I'm using slang, who am I speaking to? The same people I'd be speaking to if I was using Chinese. I'm talking to Chinese people. If an English person goes, I can't understand that, it's because you're Chinese. They don't think they're talking to you. When I see Arabic on my Twitter timeline, I hardly ever go to translate tweet. I don't think you're talking to me. I respect the fact that people are not talking to me. So I respect differences from people. I respect other people's journey. The only time you hear something from me is if we're doing our thing and someone comes over here on some next vibe. I'm like, nah, that's not what we're doing, bro. And I don't mind having to like say to somebody this ain't right and questioning them when it comes to something I fully understand. So the way I've navigated through life has been calm. I've just been doing what I need to do in the right spaces. And if I do something wrong, I'll put my hand up and say my bad. And that's it. Like, do you know where I'm coming from? But people make that situation complicated with finance. They make that situation complicated with ego and status and all of this other stuff that I don't care about, bro. I'm proper not interested. Who cares? Who gives a damn, fam? So yeah, as long as you put your best foot forward and be honest in a situation, you don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to certain situations. I got nothing to worry about. Even if I'm gonna get hurt and I'm gonna be upset, eventually I'm gonna be fine if I'm telling the truth. The people that want instant gratification, that privileged lifestyle. So I say all the time, I was born in Tottenham, bro, Ferry Lane Estate, 2 bedroom flat with 6 people. I couldn't tell you about privilege. I can tell you about struggle. I can tell you about fighting for what you want in life. I can tell you about patience. I can't tell you about privilege. So when then people want instant gratification and want instant, like Instagram, just everything instant, I can't help you, my guy. I'm from a whole thing where we like to work for what people, what we want to achieve. So yeah, instant gratification. I'll save that for the westernized guy. I'll save that for the capitalist man. I ain't got nothing. I don't know how to do that, and that's a skill in itself. I just don't know how to do it.
I hear that. I hear that, man. What are three traits what are three traits of yours that you always rely on, or three characteristics of yours that you always rely on? If you was to sum poet as three things, what would it be? Even though there's so much more to it, but what do you rely on?
I rely, I rely on my heart a lot because I know for a fact in my heart I don't want bad for people. Even though the way I may communicate it sometimes might be messy and might be bad, I understand all that's happened is something's happened and I don't know how to articulate the problem. But I don't question my heart. I know this is a problem. And when I'm challenged with that, I'm going like the full 100. And what I like about it, I align that with patience. So if you challenge me with something you don't understand right now, I don't mind because you're going to find out. And there's people personally in my life that can say, yeah, that's true. But I've said to them, what are you doing? What is this all about? And at the time, I seemed like a madman. And then we go forward, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, but you knew it wasn't going to work. We could justify why this was nonsense time ago. But like Kanye said, man, flashing lights, bro. Do you know how much people love flashing lights? Do you know what also loves flashing lights? Flies. And when they and then they die. I don't like flashing lights. That's why I wear glasses. I'm not in that, man. I don't understand all of that. So I love my heart because I don't question my heart. I love my patience when I have something I love because I don't question that. I'm like, this is going to be a success. I don't care how long it takes people to see. The most important thing is that this is a success. And I don't question my drive. I love my drive. I will go the full 100 in friendships. I go the full 100 outside of friendships. Like I got drive, bro. I want to make it. Doesn't mean sometimes I don't slow down. But my nigga, I need to make it, bro. I need to. And so do all everyone in around me. We need to go.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I'm.
Where do you think the Where do you think the culture is moving to right now, from your perspective? Now that you're you're in, like, let's say, okay, cool, you're in the industry,
Hmm.
you're around all of the people you've grown up with that are also in the industry. Where do you think everything is pivoting to? And what I mean by that, I'll give it some context. Like right now, we're in the age of content creators monetizing their audiences, right?
Hmm.
From your perspective, what do you think is another leap that is happening within the culture or within society or technology?
Um.
I know that question's all over the place, but
Nah, so I think I have an idea. All right. So where do I feel our scene is going?
yeah.
The scene is going in many different directions. For one, I can tell you the things that I'm fearful for. I'm very fearful for this lack of unity and all about one mentality which is happening, which has possibly always happened. But maybe as I've got older, I'm able to see it a lot more. And when the person at the top, when the person at the top's story or message or drive within the mechanic of their business is very self-preserving, is that the word? I worry. Because if the person at the top is genuinely thinking about me, I feel safe. If the person at the top is thinking mostly about themselves, I don't feel safe. And I think the only time people make it a problem is when the person's a prime minister or a president or but why is it not a problem when the person's a musician? Why is it not a problem when the person's any other perspective within art? I think any artistic perspective which is all about one person, yeah, no problem, is dangerous. It's dangerous, man. I'll take a look at Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, guys, was out here helping. He's out here helping bad guys, bro. I take a look at Wiley, bruv. Imagine he was all about himself. Where is it? Where are half the people that are here today? Imagine Rashid, Posty, Pierre, Mixtape Madness. I'm not saying they don't have aspects of themselves or they care about themselves, but imagine they were all about themselves. So if we take a look at what happens when people are about people, look at how much success we share together. Now, I'm scared that people are making everything about them. And the way that's happening is that the plumber is more concerned the fact that he likes painting now, and the painter is more concerned that they like gardening now. And what I mean by that is my artist is more concerned that they like fashion now, and my presenter thinks they're a DJ now. And I have no problem with us doing multitude different art forms. I think that is important. Why are you here? 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 Why are you here Why are you here? Is that the reason why you sure? Or is that what's working right now? Because you're confusing me as a consumer. You told me that music means everything to you, and this is what you want to do. But you haven't released music in the past 2, 3 years, and you don't really release music. You do everything else other than that to try and create this facade that you are where you are, and that helps you. How does that help music? How does that help people at home trying to get into the music scene? Am I telling people at home you don't have to make music to be a musician? Okay, what does that look like moving forward for music? If everyone decides that they're a musician, the most important thing is music. What does that look like for music going forward? So then, how are you helping people with this position that you have? It's not about the people that are here today. It's about making sure the work we do, that years from now, generations from now, it helps people. And I'm not suggesting you don't help people by what you're doing, but I'm just saying be very clear with your purpose and why you're here. Even if you're unaware, make that clear. And I just think we're living a day and age where my plumber wants to paint because the plumbing business ain't doing too well, so we need to keep these lights on. It's not my concern. Can you please fix my toilet?
That I fully hear that point, bro. And it's important that you said something key that is to my next question. What can what can we do to help the next generation below us succeed? And you kind of started touching on that. And what I'm getting from that is the actions, like all the actions we do need to be authentic to ourselves, so people can see that on the come up. Because people can suss bullshit from a mile away.
They can't.
You don't think so?
Manipulation is the greatest tool used in music. We argue about who the best rapper is. If we were listening to music, I don't think that'd be an issue. We don't. So it's an argument. No, no. What can we do to save the younger generation? The younger generation is fine. Every generation is fine because everyone's probably had to deal with multiple different problems throughout their any one time. I believe everything will be fine because there are people like yourself. If we keep focusing on the negative situations, that means we never shed light on the real positive things, and that means we have no hope. We have no belief that the people that are doing good things will do good things. And although it sounds quite contradictory to the point I made previously about that was just one of my fears. Doesn't mean my fear is going to come into fruition, but it's a fear which is based upon observation of something that's happening. If that happens in mass, we're going to have a massive problem. But there's who's to say that there's not going to be enough examples of the opposite to help us go through the many problems that you can have musically. There is for every problem we have, we can have a Benjamin AD, who for me is an honest example of an individual that makes music. And I appreciate it, and I wish him the best of luck and success. And there's so much people I could have said to be Amalu. I could listen to Amalu all day, man. I could listen to Nines all day, man. I could listen to Potter Paper all day. Shout out White Ash. That's what I always talk about. I can keep speaking about the dangerous things, but I can tell you that Diggy D is probably one of the most honest examples of a young child growing up with money in the UK. I know we keep speaking like he's such an honest example. We should credit the honesty. Because the moment you credit the honesty and you don't keep getting up the things you think are wrong, you actually try to stop the discrepancies that Diggers had to go through as a young man. You try and prevent it for the next generation that are coming through. You don't tell him not to talk about it. You don't tell him and make him pretend that's not happening. It's really happening. And if it's an issue and we can all address it as an issue, what are we doing as a group of people to make sure the next group of young people ain't going through that? Oh, tell Diggity to shut up. Okay, yeah, that works. So let's just be honest, man. To be bloody honest, I'm asking a lot, asking a hell of a lot. I'm aware of it, but I'm only talking to the people that understand what I'm saying. So am I asking a lot? So I ain't talking to everyone.
I don't think you're asking enough, bro. Like, and what I mean by that is this level of insight from you so far in the last 40 minutes, bro. Like, it's made me understand there's only so much I understand of you from this conversation. You get me? I haven't known you growing up. I've only known you through certain moments in time. I've known you through social media and through the content you've done and stuff. But having this 40-minute deep dive with you, bro, has made me understand so much on the mechanisms of why you do what you do and how all of those actions have that ripple effect for your young ones, your family, and for the people that, like you said, that you want to connect with that are on this level of thinking or are doing something good to impact the culture or the next generations of things. So, what personal projects are you working on now that might not be content that you're working towards and building or intensifying even more now?
Um, all the projects are fun, man. We need to have fun, bro. Life is stressful, you know. Let's have some fun. So a lot of things I'm working with Filthy Fellas. So much fun. I'm watching grown men act like we're an adult youth club, just behaving like idiots, man. We're having a good time, and hopefully that comes through. You're gonna upset people at times. Some things are gonna go wrong, but you know what? In all, I hope we're having a good time and showing everyone let's have a good time. It means a lot to me. Um, myself and Chucky. I hope the many conversations we continue to have about within the community show people that anyway I'm not perfect and I'm on a path of purity. I'm trying to get rid of all vengeance. I don't feel like you could be a good human with vengeance and problems with people. And I hopefully all of those things come through in the HD pod where we try to be very honest with each other. Just the other week, Chucky had to stick it on me after the bloody episode. Like, bro, I feel like you disrespected me on the episode. I felt so bad. I had to apologize to Chucky as my brother. I love that man. Good man, bro. I had to apologize man to man. Like, Chucky, I'm sorry, bro. I'll never want to ever do that to you. Like, I felt so bad, bro. Um, it's not much. Yeah, it's not much. It doesn't matter. The way I spoke was wrong. You know where I'm coming from.
Exactly what you said about like your communication and still figuring that out. Like,
Yeah.
such a human thing, bro. Like, understanding like how we're trying to communicate certain things. Like, even I'm voicing it to you, I'm even speaking to myself at the same time. Like, the way I voice things to people, like it's one way in your head or how you're projecting it, but it's sometimes we don't take into account how it would come across to that person. So yeah, man. Well, first of all, like that is an important thing to have, to even have awareness at that level, even if you're not aware. And then someone coming to you like Chucky saying, "Bro, like all of these things," and then you're there taking accountability, like, "Raw, bro, like I'm not, I didn't want it to come out like that, but I'm sorry," and you taking account and bettering the communication. If anything, that's leaked your friendship and the work you do with him even further.
So yeah, I hope so. That's my guy. And then with Vibber as well, like we're about to drop some new Vibber stuff. I was saying to you as well, like on the 23rd, we dropped 4 seasons. Well, no, you only want to say that. On the 23rd of Feb, we dropped 4 seasons, which is going to be a part of like 4 projects that we drop over the next 4 months. So like everything we do, we're just trying to show just fun, have a good time, and we put our heart and soul into everything. It's not like we just do something to no. We put our heart and soul in everything, and then everything's got a family attached to it. Do you know what I'm saying? And shout out Home Rouge, that used to happen beforehand. Same thing. Shout out Gasworks that used to happen before that. Same thing. Like we try to make some good content.
I've only got one to round off. Really.
If you don't say that to be polite. If you have more than one, tell me.
I mean, for me now, like I've kind of gone through everything I sent you, but for me, it's like, bro, I can chat to the man for hours.
All right, cool. Yeah.
You get me, bro? But obviously, in the essence of time, like, bro, I'd love to do part two, three, sit down with you. You get me? All of these type of things. But I think more of those things will come in the future and that. But bro, like, I'm gonna start doing a closing tradition, bro, and I'm honored that you're gonna be the first person that is gonna start this domino effect here, because I've been pondering this question for time, not only to to voice this question to others, but to myself as well.
Yeah.
But the question is, what is one piece of advice you give out but you never take yourself?
It's probably to do with women. What's one piece of advice maybe all the advice I give. I don't know, man. What's one piece of advice I'll give out, but I never take myself? Go gym. Where do we end really through this, bro? Like, you name it, bro. Don't smoke. You stop drinking. Uh, Stop seeing multiple women. God, all the bits of advice. I'm so far from perfect. It's unbelievable, my guy. But I don't think there's one piece of advice. I'm releasing a book anyway in about 2-3 years called "How Not to Live Your Life." Uh, that's me. How not to live your life. So, man.
If I can write a forward for that, let me know, bro.
Why not? Okay, so that's a good question, man. I don't know. I don't know if any.
No, but I've been asking that to myself for years, bro, and then now it's starting to form this series. I was like, nah, I need to have like a closing tradition type thing because this actually makes man think. Right?
Maybe by the second one, I can give you an answer, boy. Right now, what I'm thinking.
Yeah, let it simmer. Next time, ask when you're next on HC, ask him that question. Let's see how people, because I feel like that's one of the questions like that will definitely make people think, bro. Like it's been making me think for years. Like me, I love giving advice on how to structure things or like plan and organize or see this, and I actually don't reflect that. Like most of my whole come up has been through chaos. It's only now I'm starting to structure,
Organize it.
plan things out. You get me?
I reckon the bit of advice that I think with me, I reckon it's going to be advice that is going to be given to me. Like I'll find it soon, and then I'll be able to know. So I doubt it's advice that I give out that I don't really take. Really, that's important. It'd probably be advice that I never give out because I'm afraid of someone saying, "What about you?" So subconsciously, maybe I stay away from the areas that I know I need to sort of focus on myself. I probably don't say it to other people as an ego thing. Who knows? So then that way, if I give you advice that I'm taking myself, I'm like, haha. Whether it's the other way around, but I've messed up here.
Bro, honestly, I really do appreciate you doing this, man. Like for me, you've just first of all, I just want to thank you, bro. Not even for jumping on, bro, for holding man accountable onto just getting it done,
Yeah.
just getting it done and out the way and starting that domino effect, bro, for me. Because now, like, I've got so much more confidence on just moving out there on the space in front of camera and documenting such conversations like this so it lives in history, bro. Future generations to look into this and see, yo, like, these were the healthy conversations that could have potentially sparked the way society and the way the culture is moving to think in a different way, bro.
Fam, just be intent, man. Because when you ask me, like, you're a really nice person, innit? And maybe some people don't like it, but when I ask people, like, yo, we're meeting up and it's a work thing, I'm not really on this casual thing. I'm like, when we free, what's the calendar? What are you saying? I want to know how serious you are. And when the moment you say I'll get back to you, I know it's not serious. If I'm saying to you, I can look at my calendar right now and tell you when I can meet you. If you can't do the same thing with me, then it's not serious. If it was serious, you would definitely tell me your calendar and say, yo, I'm available this time or what have you. So I just take it as it's not serious. And that's not, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's not serious. It's just not serious by the standards that I set serious on. So when you ask people to say to them, look, yo, you can and find a nice cute way of dropping it in, bro. Let people know, do you know what? I'm busy over the next 2 weeks. What are you saying for the third week? Are you busy? I'll get back to you. Okay, if anything, I'll hit you up in a couple of days to see. And let them know you're serious, bro. It's just something you want to do, cuz. If they're not serious after that, cut them off, man. Go on to the next thing. Let's go. Do you know what I'm saying? But be serious about your thing. 100%.
Thank you, bro. Bro, I can't even thank you enough for what you just said there and this whole little while, bro, and just diving into that, man. I feel like I've learned another perspective on your thought process, bro, and how you carry yourself. And I see that correlation with all people that I've had deep deep conversation with that I've never recorded. That's why I'm on this journey now to start documenting these conversations because I personally feel like it will the same way I was exposed to certain levels of conversations is sparked me to who I am today, and hopefully I can do that for someone else, man. So thank you so much for that, boy.
No problem, man. I was gonna put a post up right now saying you look terrible.
Oh, you did. Hey, thank you so much. I'm gonna stop recording now anyway. Let me see how. Yeah.